I want to get into another Gene-ism. So we talked yesterday, my dad passed, his name was Gene. He has all these, like all dads do, right? He's got these great, like, this one-liners, right? Here's the one-liner for today. I'll do one each day this week and then we'll stop it. But the one-liner for this day, for today, is this: believe nothing of what you hear and only half of what you see. Now, if you remember yesterday's show, my dad's Gene-ism from yesterday was learn how to separate the fly shit from the pepper, right? Which, if you think about that, is that's like genius level quote right there. Today, it's believe nothing of what you hear and half of what you see. And he told me that when I was young, because again, we're from the East Coast, right? And on the East Coast, those of you who are from the East Coast, raise your hands in chat. You know what I'm talking about here, right? If you grew up on the East, you don't trust anybody. Like we don't trust nobody. Now we're loyal. And I know that people from the South can say the same thing. They're Southern folk, super loyal. Like take a bullet for somebody, put a bullet for somebody, right? That's how the South is. On the East Coast, just don't trust anybody until you get your group, right? You trust your friends and your family, and like nobody gets in, nobody gets out. Like that's that kind of thing, right? And he was trying to ingrain this in me when I was a young kid. Like, you can't trust, everybody's trying to screw you. Everybody. He was a salesman, right? My dad sold tractor trailers actually up until he bought the bookstore. And like Leisure Suit Larry salesman. Like I got pictures of him with, the blue coat with the light blue coat with the bright blue threading, the collar, the chest hair, the chains, the whole thing, right? That was my dad. Leisure Suit salesman. And he's like, I am trying to screw everybody I talk to. I don't care how good of a friend that guy thinks I am, he's a dollar bill to me. That's what he would say, right? He's like, and you got to know, everybody looks at you like you're a dollar bill to them, or you're whatever they need in the moment to them. That was what he would always tell me. And he said, you got to remember, when you go in any kind of conversation or any kind of interaction, remember that, right? Everybody's got an agenda, right? And they will say what they need to say in a way that they think you need to hear it to sell you on their agenda. That was his words, always. And he's like, you cannot believe a thing you hear. And if they show it to you, give it the stink eye. Because, 3-card money, right? Everything he says is a show. It's a dog and pony show. And you got to remember, they're trying to convince you. Everybody's convincing you of something. We're all snake oil salesmen in the end, right? And again, I'm 11 years old hearing this, right? But that's the reason why, like to this day, you know what I mean? I when I walk, like I got my hand on my money in my front pocket. Like if you are going to pickpocket me, you're taking my hand with you kind of thing, right? I just don't trust anybody. That was my dad. So I think when I hear Gene say, believe nothing of what you hear and half of what you see, this is what he's talking about. You're going to see videos, and again, not from the people that I've mentioned, but from, the books that you've read and the old videos of, here's the only way to beat the casino, guaranteed wins. That's all a bunch of crap, right? So just separate the fly shit from the pepper. Don't believe what you hear, believe part of what you see, and, shrink your group and really trust the people that you trust. There are people that we talk about here all the time that are in chat right now. I can see them kind of scrolling by, that I trust implicitly with what they say. And because I've talked to them offline, and I know that they're not, they're not trying to, A, make money off of you, and B, sell you a hill of gold or a goose of whatever, the golden egg goose, right? They're not doing that. They're being real with you. So get real, follow real, understand the reality. There it is. Hope that all makes sense. And that's a long little segue there, but that's what I wanted to say this morning.